So what can we learn from Yahweh's commandments? Yahweh's commandments teach us that we were supposed to be unity as one. We were supposed to accept foreigners. Everyone was supposed to worship Yahweh. If they didn't want to worship Yahweh, they were to be killed. It's very simple. That's what his commandments told us to do. And it's kind of like with Islam, that's pretty much what they're doing today. And what they have always been doing. So Yahweh's commandments were perfect. The whole world's supposed to follow Yahweh's commandments. They were, supposed to be under Yahweh, one ruler, his perfect commandments, and was supposed to conquer the world. And basically it's his way or the highway, Yahweh's way or the highway. So his people failed to obey his commandments. Instead, they chose to go the other route. So now, since his people didn't want to obey his commandments and become unity as one, and they decided to serve mammon, money, the root to all evil, technology. When they saw the other women from the other cultures, other ethnicities, they liked what they saw, so they chose to go to the woman and chose the woman over obeying Yahweh. So now, because there is no unity in Yahweh's name, there is no more keeping of Yahweh's commandments. There's no more rulership of Yahweh. Yahweh's name has been lost because they failed to obey his commandments. His rulership has been lost. So now what are we going to learn from all that? Basically, because they fail to obey Yahweh's perfect commandments, now we have nuclear war, we have bombs, technology went out, there's no more unity, there's nothing but division. Yahweh knew all these things were going to happen. But who will be saved is the ones who obey Yahweh, learn his commandments, and become unity in one. 144,000. Many will be called, few will be chosen, like the scriptures tell us. So basically, Yahweh is going to save his people. The ones in the last days, when the time comes, that obey his commandments. So whoever's not turning to Yahweh by following his number one commandment, love him with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul, and all your strength, and feed off every word and learn all his commandments and become unity as one. So when we become unity as one, then Yahweh in the last days will pour his spirit, his truth, out to his last two witnesses who will bring Yahweh's people together. 144,000. Why? Because Yahweh will put his spirit on them, and they will learn Yahweh's commandments, and they will teach Yahweh's commandments, and Yahweh will bring people to them to be taught, because Yahweh knows your heart. Yahweh knows who's who. He seeks the inside, not the outside of a person. He don't judge you by the outside. He don't judge you by how you look. The Messiah says, don't worry about what you look like, what to wear. Don't plan for tomorrow, or that's even a sin, you see. Don't worry about nothing but the truth. Seek the truth, and everything else shall come, the Messiah said. Don't store your treasures here on earth. Store your treasures up there in heaven. Well, to learn the truth, you don't have to go anywhere. The kingdom's at hand. It's Yahweh's word, his spirit, his commandments are perfect. So that's why he said, feed off every word. So in the later days, we are waiting for the last 2 days, the last two witnesses, which are going to be coming right close to the end. And the end is very close. The Messiah spoke about those times with hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, and people are gonna, start disarming, taking guns away. It's gonna get bad. So, which they already started doing. They already started taking guns away. If you have a gun, they're talking about only 10 clips, 10 shots. So everybody had to register their name, their guns, and so forth. And some people, turn their guns in, not everybody, but the signs are getting here, very close. Even though they've been talking about taking guns away for the longest time. But, so basically, technology and disobeying Yahweh's commandments, the scriptures, the Messiah tells us, you're going to wish you were dead when Judgment Day comes, because it could hit you right now. Nuclear war, your eyeball sockets are going to pop out of your head. It's going to burn like being in an oven. And you're not going to have anywhere to run. So you're going to wish you were dead. That's what the Messiah said. And that's what's going to happen to a lot of people come Judgment Day. They kid around, but yet they don't put themselves in that place and just think about it for a second. You're in a boiler room, in the boiler, like Daniel, and you're burning and you got nowhere to run. It's not going to be a pretty sight for a lot of people. That's why Yahweh says, it's kind of like people, when they go to hell, the scriptures tells us who's not going to enter Yahweh's kingdom. Many verses tell us who's not going to be accepted by Yahweh. And no liar, no thief, many sinners will not be accepted. And that's what the scriptures tell us. The Messiah told us the gate is very narrow. What does that mean? It's narrow. And many will be called and few will be chosen. So you can't go by what the people are teaching today, because they're teaching a lie. We have the scriptures, and the scriptures, Yahweh will hold it as a witness against us. So you can't say you don't have his scriptures, you don't have his commandments to learn his commandments. You can't say that you love him if you're not reading his commandments and learning them and teaching them and feeding off every word like the Messiah said. That's the number one commandment. Love him with all your heart, all your mind, all your soul. So it's not like you can't say, I didn't know. You can't say, well, I can't afford a Bible, because you could pretty much get them for free or $1 at the dollar store. So when you have to face them, and when the Messiah says, rise to the dead first, and they shall be judged, then what are you going to tell them? We all got to answer to the same person. Peace, shalom, bye.